You say you care about the students, but half of you are not sure what gender is, especially transgender. I know the lawyer said transsexual earlier, that's not the correct term.
I don't care how they identify or whatever kind of delusion people live in, whatever kind of mental disease that they have. Boys are boys and girls are girls. It's simple and basic.
Woke culture has reached the point where asking, what is a woman? Feels like solving an advanced calculus problem. We used to have it pretty straightforward. Male, female, done and dusted. But now apparently biology is just a suggestion. Gender is being treated like a customizable Starbucks order. I'll take one non-binary, a dash of gender fluid, and make it extra woke.
You just think that women should be equally represented in the decision-making fora of our nation. Maybe that's really just about having proper equality in a body that's meant to be representative.
Well, I do believe that women should have... I don't understand your question, I guess.
I guess you don't. That's pretty obvious, unfortunately.
Well, how about if you phrase it more clearly, instead of just insulting me? 9% of bricklayers...
Watch her strange expressions of disrespect, but Peterson schooled her hard.
99.9% of bricklayers are men. Should we have quotas for women?
Is bricklaying representative democracy?
That has nothing to do with the question. The question is if there's evidence of structural inequality and oppression because women aren't precisely represented at 50% in all professions at all levels, then why don't we have a conversation about having women represented in all professions at all levels? Well, why do we talk about the C-suite, for example?
Modern feminism has gone from fighting for equality to acting like an all-out war on men and traditional values. If you enjoy anything remotely feminine, you're labeled brainwashed. Want to raise kids? Oppressed? Compliment a man? Traitor. It's as if empowerment now means tearing down anything that doesn't scream girl boss. Instead of actual progress, it's just finger-pointing and man-hating in a power suit.
Identify as black? No, it's a serious question because you might not identify. Okay.
When I walked into the room,
I am not done with my question.
Hey, young lady.
I'm just asking you to listen to me while
I'm about to answer your first question.
But I didn't finish my question.
Okay. Yeah, I'm black.
Less than 9% of the people in the room are black, and we're all not here for you.
Do you think there are racial inequalities in America? And how do you feel about Trump increasing both economic inequality?
Science? Oh, that's so 20th century. Suddenly, if you dare mention chromosomes, you're the one who's outdated. Reality is now an optional accessory, and it comes in 57 flavors of confusion. Progress, they call it.
Every woman has the right to choose whether or not she has a baby.
You told me, and you told the camera, that you think it's okay the day before birth for a woman to inject a solution into her child to stop its heart.
That's not what I said. You're saying that.
You said it's okay to do that.
I think that the mom needs to be able to decide. And I know that's a cop-out to say that, but
should she legally be able to decide a day before birth?
Yeah. Is this why you record for stupid shit like this? You guys are disgusting.
I'm a feminist, and I don't hate men.
Okay, so you are a self-described feminist. What is a woman?
Why do you want to know?
I'm infinitely curious.
What's a man?
You're looking at one.
Why do you think that that's important to you, what a man and a woman is?
So
do you treat men and women differently?
Well, it depends in what context, though. Politically, no. Under the law, no. You're
Okay,
a feminist. Shouldn't you be able to tell me what a woman is?
I'm a feminist.
Isn't that probably...
The gender police have made it their mission to correct everyone on everything. Misuse a pronoun, and you're labeled a monster. Who knew keeping up with language would be harder than learning Mandarin? And no matter how woke you try to be, you'll always be a step behind. It's like an unwinnable game of virtue whack-a-mole, where someone's bound to tell you, oh, you didn't know? That word's offensive now. Better cancel yourself. But here's the kicker. The louder they shout about inclusivity, the quicker they're ready to exclude anyone who doesn't bow to their ever-changing rulebook. Remember when it was about equality? Now it feels more like a hostile takeover.
People like you who make us feel like we don't belong. The only LGBTQ agenda we have is...
Okay, is there a question in there or a speech?
Yes.
You gotta ask a question, buddy. I know you wrote this out in your notes, but ask a question. Let's go.
How do you think other people who, with your beliefs, respond to the fact that your hateful and harmful rhetoric costs the lives of queer children every single day, on average, every 45 seconds?
Okay, so this is just gonna be a pure boogeyman. You're pretending that someone committed because of Candace Owens. You've got no. I sat down with a man named Walt Heyer who was convinced to chop his penis off after your community told him that there was something wrong with him because he had confusion of people who have changed their parts and can't go back. And you know what happens? Suicide rates go up after they transition. After they transition. And Candace Owens wasn't the one that chopped their off.
The irony here is that woke culture is all about smashing stereotypes, yet they're the first to create new ones. Men must be villains, women must be warriors, and anything in between is subject to endless redefinition. They want gender to be as fluid as their logic, but at the same time, they're quick to categorize anyone who disagrees as a relic from the past.
You're not concerned about the unknown effects of puberty blockers, hormones, and surgical interventions in kids, the long-term effects, not concerned about that. And there is no systematic review that states that there is strong evidence of benefits.
Sir, are you aware of how the quality evidence grading system works and how it's applied?
Yeah, we've read through it. That's why I'm citing these journals. So which journal says something different? We should have that debate. Tell me a journal that has done systematic reviews that cites different evidence, that cites strong evidence for benefits of these therapies.
Woke culture has somehow decided that children, barely old enough to tie their shoes, need a crash course in gender politics. Forget learning the alphabet. Kids should apparently be experts on pronouns by recess. Teaching kids about complicated adult issues before they've even mastered basic math is like handing them a phone bill before they've learned to count.
Standards of care were developed based on extensive...
You're not telling me any journal, you're not telling me any study. Don't say standards of care.
Yeah. So...
Tell me one.
The standards of care.
That's the standards of care. That's not a journal, that's not a study. That's not an organization, that's not an institution. You're just saying words.
Childhood should be about playing tag and eating too much candy, not deciding which of the 67 genders best reflects how you feel today. There's a reason kids play make-believe, because reality isn't something they need to worry about yet. Paragraph 2. What happened to letting kids just be kids? Suddenly, everyone wants to have a say in how your child thinks about identity and gender.
I don't remember any of my doctrinal classes mentioning only male and female, and that's the way it should be. If you feel it is, awesome, good. You get to believe that. You don't get to impose those beliefs on anybody else.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you guys are even considering letting bathrooms and locker rooms being co-ed. I don't care how they identify or whatever kind of delusion people live in, whatever kind of mental disease that they have. Boys are boys and girls are girls. It's simple and basic.
It's one thing to teach tolerance, but it's another to introduce confusion before they've even figured out who they are. Children aren't miniature social experiments. They're not here to validate the latest woke trends. Your kids don't need strangers, schools, or social media influencers shaping their worldview before they've had a chance to form one on their own. Say no to being woke, and if you want to see comedians tearing down woke clowns, click on the video below. We'll see you next time. Cue the outro song.
We are the anti-woke police, here to save the world.